how to stop thinking about your narcissist ex. That's what we're talking about in this video. Hey, I'm Dr. Melissa. I'm a trauma expert and top doctor. And in this video, we're talking about how to stop thinking about your narcissist ex. You've left the relationship, you're trying to move on, and you keep thinking about them all of the time. It's keeping you stuck. You know what I'm talking about, right? I know you do. In the comments, type how many times a day you think about your narcissist ex. Is it never? Is it once a day? Is it 50 times a day? Is it 100 times a day? Is it more? It makes the question so important, right? How do I stop thinking about them? And in this video, we're going to talk about 3 things. First, how to decrease the opportunities you have to think about them. Second, how to create a plan for dealing with it when you do. And third, how to make them irrelevant to you so that you don't think about them anymore. So first, how do you decrease the opportunities that you have to think about them? Let's be strategic about this. You are a smart person. You want to eliminate the inbound information that is going to start you on the path of thinking about them, because you know how this goes. You don't just think about them. They pass through your mind, right? You think about them and then you start thinking about what they said and what they meant and maybe how they weren't accountable, or you think about how you responded, how you handled things, what you did wrong when they dumped you and you feel like you made yourself look foolish, or how maybe you could have handled things better and things would have worked out differently. Or you go down that really deep rabbit hole of thinking about what should have been, right? What things were supposed to be, that you were supposed to grow old together. You were supposed to celebrate your 50th anniversary together someday. You were supposed to be together having grandkids and great grandkids over to your house and travel to these amazing destinations and build your dream business together, and on and on and on, right? That's where the thoughts go. That's the rabbit hole that we need to avoid. And the first step is to decrease that inbound information. So how do you do that? You go no contact. You stop taking their calls. You stop responding to their texts. You stop responding to their emails. Best yet, if you're not in a co-parenting relationship with minor children where you have to be involved with them, or co-owners of a business or something where you have to be involved, you block them on all those devices. So you don't see that they're texting you. You don't see that they've called and hung up 47 times. You don't see any of these inbound communication attempts. You block them on social media. You don't take chances with being in a good spot and having, a picture of them with their new significant other come through your Facebook feed or your Instagram feed, right? You eliminate those opportunities. You eliminate those inbound distractions, and you certainly don't make any outbound attempts to see what's going on with them. If this is the kind of stuff you need, click subscribe, click the notification bell, because we're making videos like this several times a week. Okay, number 2, let's talk about how you create the plan. We've talked a little bit about your plan for eliminating the incoming communications and completely eliminating your searching or hunting or kind of wanting to know what they're up to, the social media stalking that can be really common. You've eliminated all of that. Let's take it a step further in terms of creating the plan. What if your narcissist ex just happens to come into your mind? Now, as a temporary step, this is not the long-term solution, but as a temporary step, as you're moving through the 5-step healing process, you're going to want to think about something else. You're going to want to stop that thought the minute it comes into your head. And that sounds like it could be really hard, but think about how often you've tried to do this with other things, with affirmations, right? Like maybe you think, oh my gosh, I look terrible. And then you immediately replace it with the thought, I look healthy, right? To sort of cancel out that negative one. Now, we don't have to necessarily use an affirmation, but it's the same concept. It's the same mindset. The thought of the narcissist ex comes in and you think about something else, and you've got to have a plan. Maybe you're going to think about where you're going on vacation next month. Maybe you're going to think about going home and having dinner with your kids. Maybe you're going to think about your workout in the gym later. Maybe you're going to think about how well your investment accounts are doing and where you want to move money. Maybe you're going to think about your next step in marketing for your business, right? But you create a plan that as soon as the thought of the narcissist ex comes, you go here and you take it somewhere else, so you cut it off. Now, what this does for you is it stops the reinforcement, the continuous loop that people get stuck in of going down that deep rabbit hole, sitting in that place of despair, creating all of the brain chemicals and the other things that make you long for that relationship, for what could have been, that make you want to reach out to the narcissist ex. We're just going to stop it altogether, and the best way to do that is to have a plan. Okay, number 3, let's talk about how to make them irrelevant. And this is where you really want to move to over time. The important thing is the steps need to come in order, right? You can't just make them irrelevant if you're still seeing them on social media, if you're still having conversations, if you're willing to go down that rabbit hole every time they pop into your head. It's just too hard. But the ultimate goal is to make them be irrelevant, not in a human way, not that you hope anything bad happens to them or, wish them any challenges or any troubles, but they just don't matter. They just don't create any chemical cascade for you. You see that rabbit hole over there and you're like, yeah, whatever. That's not interesting. I'm not headed there. That's what we want, right? Where you could have someone mention them. Oh, how is so-and-so doing? Or, when was the last time you heard from so-and-so? Or I saw him with his new wife, or I saw her with her new boss, or whatever. And you just don't care. It's complete indifference. They are irrelevant. They're a part of your past. That's where we want to go, right? That's so important. So how do we make them irrelevant? We heal ourselves. We break our trauma bond. We extract the trauma from our physical bodies, from our energetic bodies that's stored as a result of the relationship. We heal our relationship to ourselves. We let go of these false core beliefs that are keeping us stuck, beliefs that we're not enough, that we're not lovable, that we're not worthy, that we are too much, that we're crazy, that we're worthless, whatever it might be. We heal those things in ourselves. And when that happens, something miraculous happens. Now, we've talked about the impact that has on attracting new relationships into your life in other videos. And that piece is really important. But the other thing that happens is the narcissist's opinion, their existence is no longer critical to you. You no longer need their validation or their acceptance, their support. You no longer have anything to prove. you're kind of sitting at this point, I love Captain Marvel, the movie. And, at the end when she says, I have nothing to prove to you. That's when they've become irrelevant. And the way to get there is by doing that healing work, by healing those false, and I say false because they are not true. Without knowing you, I can definitively say they are not true. You're not alone. You're not invisible. You're not good enough. You're not worthless. Those things are not true. And when you know that inside, when you believe that so solidly, there's not any part of you that ever wants to go back to that toxic relationship. There's not any part of you that will ever accept that kind of toxic relationship in the future, because you'd rather be alone than be with someone who is abusive to you, because you know so solidly who you are. Now, you may not be ready for this step yet, but I want to give you the vision of where you're headed. I see the healing journey in 5 steps. The first step being education and awareness. The 5th step being what we're talking about now. And if you want to be clear, if you want to know exactly where you're at on this healing journey, where you're headed, what the next step is to get to that place that I'm talking about, click the link in the description and my free guide will be in your inbox today. I am Dr. Melissa, and I will see you in the next video.